Hey guys, Graham here from therecordingrevolution.com with another 5 minutes to a better mix tutorial where we're looking at 31 mixing tips in 31 days. And today I want to talk to you about a piano mixing tip. If you've recorded piano, stereo, let's say, with a couple of condenser mics maybe on the piano, or maybe you've plugged in a really nice keyboard and run a stereo output into your DAW, and so you have a left and a right, nice, wide, big sounding stereo piano or keyboard sound. As cool as that may sound a lot of times, especially in vocal heavy, piano heavy music where there's not a lot of other instrumentation going on, as much as I personally love that sound of the piano in my ears if I'm wearing headphones going from left to right as they play up and down the keyboard, as great as that can be, when you get into a complex mix, when you've got drums and guitars and other keyboard parts maybe and vocals and it's a big rock, pop, no matter really what genre, when you have more instruments involved, honestly, the more wide and stereo that piano is, the harder it is to distinguish it in the mix and the more it can kind of cover up what you really want to focus on, which is probably the vocal. One tip I like to give people is take your stereo piano track, as great as it is, and pan it mono. Forget stereo, just pan the darn thing mono for part of the song, if not all of the song where the piano is not the feature. The idea is, again, like we looked at in the LCR panning video. If you haven't checked that out, go check it. Most people aren't going to be listening to your music right in the middle of perfect speakers. And if they're listening to it in headphones, which I agree many people are, myself included, we don't usually sit quietly and listen to music in headphones. We're usually at the gym or we're riding our bike or we're doing some kind of activity where there's background noise. And so we're just hearing things, but we're not being able to distinguish, oh, how great that stereo piano sounds. I love how it goes from left to right. What matters is clarity. Can you hear and feel every part of the mix? That's all that matters, and you want to give everything a space. In this case, we want to give piano some space, and when it's stereo, that means it's kind of everywhere and it doesn't have a defined space. It just kind of washes, and that's a problem. In this track, I have some piano going along with other guitars and other instrumentation. And at the very beginning of the song, I do have the piano hard left and right, so it sounds nice and full because there's only really a vocal and the piano going on. But now, once the rest of the drums and the band comes in, the piano is not the focus. It's just part of the rhythmic and chordal action. So I just want to move it off to the side. So here is a verse 2, with the piano hard left and right.
My soul, God alone. My hope comes from in my salvation. He's my fortress. I will not.
Okay, nothing wrong with the piano. I'm not saying that sounds bad, but what I'm saying is I like to move things out of the way, especially out of the center, to make room for the kick, snare, bass, and vocal. So at this part of the song, honestly, when the interlude comes in, all the way to the rest of the song, let's just say all the way through this verse, go ahead and automate your panning. So I'm just going to take the left side and bring it all the way hard right to match where my right side of the piano is. So the piano will be hard right. If you're listening to headphones, you'll hear it hard, hard right. Let's take a listen when the vocals come in here.
My soul, God alone. My hope comes from Him, from God alone. He alone is my rock and my salvation.
So it's right there in the hard right. But with everything else in the mix, you've got a rhythmic lead guitar in the left. You've got some washy, trippy, delayed guitars in both the left and the right. You've got acoustic hard left and right. But it allows the piano to have some space, to be off on one side. It's not in the way of the vocal, and you can still hear it and feel and know that it's there. And that's honestly all that matters when you're mixing piano. So if you find yourself with a lot of wash going on in your mix and you have a lot of pianos or maybe some stereo keyboard parts that are kind of just, you're losing a lot of the clarity in your mix, It may help you to pan some of those keyboard parts mono. I know it doesn't sound exciting, but that will make your mix a lot easier, and people do it more often than you think. Pan a mono, make it a mono source. If you're going to record piano, maybe just throw up one mic and forget the whole stereo piano concept. You'll get a focused, clear piano sound that you can place somewhere in the mix, and it'll clear up everything else for you. Again, this is Graham from therecordingrevolution.com with 5 minutes to a better mix. We'll hope to see you on the next video.